Hey everyone, it's Corey here. Hope that you're doing well. In today's video, I wanted to share with you some tactical tips that I use when it comes to minimizing my food expenses here in New York City. Now, for those of you who have lived or have visited New York, specifically Manhattan, you know how expensive things can be, especially when you're eating out, which is why I really do try to cook at home as much as possible. Here are 5 tips that I want to share with you in terms of how I try to keep my food bill as low as can be. Now, for those of you that haven't already subscribed yet to my channel, but like me are interested in living well, but also living within my means, please go ahead and either like or subscribe to my channel. And without further ado, let's dive into the tips. Tip number 1 is knowing which stores offer the best prices and the best quality. So in New York City, you have a lot of different options. You can go downstairs to your mom and pop grocery store, your bodega. You can go to Duane Reade or Walgreens. You can go to the traditional grocery stores like Whole Foods, like Citarella, or even specialty markets like Italy. I like to focus on 4 grocery stores. So the first is Whole Foods because they're able to balance price and they're able to balance quality. And I know that what I'm getting is actually going to last. The second place that I like to shop at is Trader Joe's because they provide really affordable snacks and frozen meals that I can eat when I'm in a jam and just need to cook something fast. Not even cook, more like microwave. The third is Chinatown. So I like to walk to New York City Chinatown, which fortunately isn't too far away, and I can pick up groceries that are super fresh, very reasonably priced, plus those Asian items that I may not be able to find at a normal grocery store. And then lastly, I like to also shop at Walmart. So I order all of my things online. I really just focus on shelf-stable products like snacks, like lentils or beans, like rice. For example, a 10-pound bag of rice is $4.54 on Walmart versus me going to a store, buying it, and then have to carrying it all the way back to my apartment is no fun. So anytime I can try to ship things to the apartment instead of having to lug it back, it's always the ideal situation. Tip number 2 is meal prep on the weekends. So I will generally try to do all of my cooking on the weekend so that I have food to eat during the weekday. Generally, I found that when I am super hungry and there's nothing that is quick for me to either make or to pop in the microwave to eat, that's when I will either go outside to buy food or I will have Seamless deliver food to me. So I try to always make sure that I have something quick, easy, and healthy to eat on hand. Tip number 3 is being mindful of the types of food that you're buying at the stores. So obviously meat, for example, is much more expensive than vegetables. I'm plant-based, so that doesn't really matter for me, but I also try not to go to the store when I'm starving because that's generally when I'm making impulse buys. The other tip that I like to be thinking of when I'm at the store is if the fresh produce seems way too expensive and if I can find a frozen alternative that's usually just as good, but significantly lower price. So you always keep an eye out if, for example, you don't need fresh blueberries, but you can buy frozen blueberries. Tip number 4 is avoiding recipes that call for super niche or specialized ingredients. So this is a situation that I myself have fallen into where I'm trying to make a very special dish and it is calling for some type of spice that is super expensive and that I may only use once. So I generally will try to shy away from those types of recipes where I know I'm not gonna use those ingredients and they're likely going to go to waste or sit way in the back of my spice rack and never be touched again. Tip number 5 is related to when you are tired of cooking and you just need takeout or delivery. I certainly fall in that camp where as good as I am cooking my meals on a daily basis, there are just times where I am too tired or want sushi or want pizza. And so in those instances, what I generally will try to do is Go on to Seamless, try to use promotions like $5 off coupons or restaurant promotions. I also recently stumbled on the app Too Good To Go, which in New York City offers customers like me the ability to purchase from restaurants that have excess food that may go to waste at the end of the night or at the end of the afternoon. So that's been a really fantastic way for me to try new restaurants without having to spend a ton of money. Additionally, I'm a sucker for coupons such as T-Mobile Tuesday, where they may offer, Impossible Whoppers or Whoppers from Burger King for $1 or anything of that nature. So I just try to keep my eyes peeled for any opportunities to be able to save a little bit here or there, or to be able to try new restaurants that I wouldn't normally try. So those were the 5 tips that I wanted to share with you, just in terms of how I try to keep my food budget as low as possible. I would love to hear from you. What are some tips that you use to keep your food budget in line? Feel free to drop a comment and I will chat with you all later. Have a good one.